recording as soon as we get on because you can always edit it later. That way it's more natural.
Yes. Yas. I don't know what Yas Queen is. Am I like...
Please don't say it.
Okay.
You're like, yes, queen.
Well, that's how it's... You see, I'm not down to be like hip. Like, because a lot of shit sounds fucking stupid.
Well, no one told you to be yes, queen.
You're right.
That's hilarious, actually, though.
Don't judge me, Audrey.
Oh, I'm judging you. I'm judging you hard.
Mm-hmm. All right. Oh. ¿Estás lista?
Yeah.
Señorita. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna count down from 5 because then that way I can get all the attention at first. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Wait, what song are we gonna use? It's been a while since we.
Fuck you. Let's think about it later.
All right. I see that you finished your coffee or something. No.
Yeah.
I got my 2 shots of espresso, so maybe that's why I'm kind of like ready.
I was actually gonna make myself a cup of coffee before I started, but I didn't have time because I just like ran in here and like set up the computer.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's going on, guys? And welcome back to the Real Talk Podcast. Obviously, me and my co-host Audrey back again. As you can tell by the title, we're going to be just talking, random chit chat like we always do, talking about films and all that stuff, what's going on in our lives, kind of. And also, we're going to be discussing and reviewing, I guess, Taxi Driver, the 1976 film directed by Martin Scorsese, starring Robert De Niro and a whole bunch of other people. It was one of those movies, Audrey, that I haven't watched, and you've been telling me you've been helping me out, knocking out a lot of films lately, right?
That makes me happy. That makes me happy that I'm actually contributing to you watching these films that you haven't, watched, because that's good. That's what I want for you to watch instead of watching Lost for like the billionth time.
For the 400th times. Actually, this is my 3rd time watching it though.
Did you actually finish it completely?
No, not yet, because someone keeps distracting me with other stuff.
Who?
So you.
I'm like, wait, who? What do you mean?
Not like that. Not like that. Like, I mean, like, because you're telling me to watch different stuff. So, like, I don't have time to watch Lost anymore.
Okay, well, that's good because you're making the other films a priority.
Yeah, and especially, I know we're going to talk about it later, especially after watching this one, I kind of want to knock out what's next on my watch list is Raging Bull and King of Comedy. Is it The King of Comedy or King of Comedy?
I don't know. Actually, that's a good question.
Like, fuck, did we lose connection?
No. I was thinking because I was like, I've always referred to it as The King of Comedy, but I don't know if that's just because it sounds better. But
yeah, it can be like one of those Mandela effects, like where you had to add the, like Home Depot's not Home Depot anymore; it's the Home Depot.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's like what the fuck? Like why? Why is this happening?
That.
Yeah,
it's weird. I was gonna fact check it. But anyways, so that makes you excited to watch those movies.
Yeah, because I don't know if we had a conversation either in person when you came. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago already?
No, it was last week.
Damn, it feels like it wasn't, huh? Like,
wait, was it last week?
No, it was not, because this is Tuesday, right? So it wasn't this Sunday, but the last Sunday. So yeah, like about a week ago.
Right.
About a week ago.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, like for some reason, like I'm tripping out. But I don't know when we had this conversation, but I've been talking to you, like now I kind of don't feel like I feel like watching movies are gonna be worth my time now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
really?
Because I feel like if I really want to watch something like, like I did watch this, but I'm just saying, using it as an example, like The Meg or something. Like for me, that's not something I need to go watch. So like I can watch that whenever the fuck, like I want to put these films that I've been putting off for a while. Like I want to make them a priority now because I like Silence of the Lambs.
Right. So do you think it's because your time is more precious now in a way because you're so busy working and you're busy with the YouTube channel. So now any chance that you have to watch a movie, you want to make it count.
Yeah, I think so. And then this year's been weird for me because I last year we started the channel and I wanted to watch a lot, and that's why we have a lot of reviews and stuff for different things. But now this year I'm kind of like not going to a lot. Like I just watched Jurassic World for the first time, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom like 3 weeks ago now, and it came out like about 2 months ago or something. So it's like I'm kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm growing up, Audrey.
Maybe. Well, no, I was actually about to say, do you think for movies it's the same goes to it when people say like, oh, it's quality versus quantity? Like, let's say you were to watch every fucking movie out there, but out of the 10, only like maybe one of them was good, like actually good performances and everything. Do you think it's better to just watch one or watch all of them? Like, do you ever see watching a movie as a waste of time?
You know what? I think that's a good ass question. But for me, for example, like a movie like The Thing, I know we've talked about it a lot. When I first watched it, I watched it again. Right when it finished, I put it again. And it's like movies like those that I like. That's why I love movies, because like when I'm able to have this experience or connection or whatever it is towards that movie, like that's what makes this movie worth it. Like earlier this year, like it was 2001: The Space Odyssey. I seen it for the first time, and I kept thinking about it for the next few days, if not even like weeks. And spoiler alert, that's what happened with me in Taxi Driver. Like I just been thinking about it and stuff like that. So I think it is quality over quantity in my book.
Really?
Yeah, because you can have like I keep track of all the movies I watch, and like this year at home and in theaters, it's like, oh, I've already watched like 140 something, but it's like, okay, well, how many of those am I going to remember? Like how many of those stand out?
Right.
Like only a handful, honestly. So I think it is like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Well, that's what I was thinking for myself, because like you said, there are some movies that like you pop them in right after they're done because they're that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I'm thinking of like movies that really stand out to me, and I usually prefer the ones that like leave me with some sort of feeling, some sort of emotion. Like I remember like maybe like, oh shit, like I remember when I first watched that, I was like, wow, or something. Like those are the movies that I usually go back to. Of course, I have my guilty favorites that are just fun and make me feel good.
And that you don't want to make a list of?
Okay, shade. No, well, yeah, like that's how I feel. Like it's just like I don't know. Like I keep going back to my favorites, and there are more movies that, like you said, like they had some sort of an impact on you. So yeah, for me, I think it's definitely. Oh, that's a tough question, because I think it's also important to have like a really broad horizon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that's why I like to watch different things, because sometimes I will watch a movie that I didn't think I was gonna like, and I end up loving it. So that's why I'm kind of like, fuck,
Yeah.
So I think it's important to actually watch a lot too, so you can have a diverse sense of taste in movies. But I don't know, some movies are pretty stupid.
Yeah. Definitely. Like I don't know if you've seen it, but I think I can talk about it a little bit more now. Happy Time Murders released last weekend, and I fucking hated that movie. No wonder, like usually when I get passes, they only give me 2 passes, and this time I was able to choose like up to 4 passes. So I was all right, cool. I got 4 passes, and I took Rama from Rama Screen, Amy from the movie checklist, and then Griffin from Men vs. Movies. And I think we're all excited because the trailer, for me, I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm down for this. This could be funny, like in the last part of the trailer was funny. But we watched it, and it's like Griffin wanted to walk out like 5 different times, and I was just kind of like,
really?
This is not funny at all. Like for me, Melissa McCarthy, like I don't know where I am with Melissa McCarthy. For me, she could be hit or miss, or like I like her because she tries, or then I see some like Happy Time Murders. I'm just like, I'm sorry, girl, like I can't get behind you. But
I'm not a fan.
It's just not funny. It's just not funny. Like all the back and forth between her and the main puppet, like it's supposed to be like that funny banter between 2 people who don't like each other, but they have to work together. But it's just not funny at all, And it's like, It's just like puppets, like smoking cigarettes, cussing, and like having sex and shit like that. And that's funny the first time around, like when you first initially see it, but then it's like
it gets old real quick.
Yeah, they didn't really do much with it. So
right.
I don't know.
So you thought that was like a waste of time?
Yeah, yeah. And it sucks because a lot of people are watching it because the trailer, like I guess, was fine, you know. And it's like they're missing that over something like Searching, which I also got to see, and it's in my top 5 of the year. And
wow.
So yeah, that definitely, like I said earlier, if it comes to you, Audrey, please go watch it. It's awesome.
I doubt that it will come to me, but maybe. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed. I'm gonna be on the lookout for it.
You need to come to it.
Maybe. Maybe. That would be better. But no, I was gonna say actually this weekend I watched The Spectacular Now because I hadn't seen it on Netflix.
Yeah. Like, well, have you seen it before, or this is your first time?
No, this was my first time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it once when it came out, but like when it was released, I didn't see it in theaters. And then I saw it again like 2 weeks ago or something.
I really didn't like that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Audrey. No, I mean, it's
was
not,
it
it's
good?
Not like, I liked it, but it's not like, oh my God, Spectacular Now is one of the greatest, you know? Like, I thought it was fine, and especially now, like, I don't want to get into it, but like the main character, I kind of related to him a little bit more like now in this time of my life. But yeah, I mean, the performances are good. The story is like whatever. I feel like we've seen better renditions of it, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fine. I like it. Like I would buy it, but I would, you know, yeah. I think if I were to rate
the whole time. I'm just like, because I'm just like, oh shit. Yeah, no, I didn't like it. It took me a minute to watch it. Like I kept pausing it because I had shit to do. So like I would like go do my laundry and then I'd come back and watch it and then I like go and eat and then I, you know. But as I was watching it, I was like, man, this is like really bad. Well, for me, it was really bad in the sense that like I thought I don't know, I think the story didn't work for me. Like you said, I think it's been done too much, and like the performances for me were lacking. I didn't seem to care for either one of them, honestly. Yeah. I don't know. It's just I'm not a big fan of the guy that. What's his name? I don't know his name.
Teller?
That's him?
Yeah, Miles Teller.
He looks different.
Whiplash and
he looks different.
I feel like this is him like playing the same type of character that he was like known for. I think he came out in 21 and Over and like X.
He plays like the douche guy.
Yeah, like the douchey cool guy, you know. And I think this was him trying to kind of like play it, but like do something different. But it's like I feel like I like his performance. It wasn't great because he's been obviously like Whiplash and stuff. Like he's been better, but I feel like this one was kind of him like, okay, let's see what else I can do, you know? Like let me try to do something different.
I'm not a fan of Shane Woodley, and I'm not and of him. I mean, I loved him in Whiplash, but I don't know. And this one, I was just kind of like,
Did you know that he was supposed to play the Ryan Gosling role in La La Land?
Really?
Yeah, because Damien Chazelle has worked with him, obviously in Whiplash. So he's like, okay, let's have you here. But I forget why. I think Miles said no. Like I feel like no, I wouldn't feel like I don't think I can do justice in this role or something. Don't quote me on that. But like I feel like Miles was like, nah. Like yeah, I would love to, but like I mean, he kind of felt like okay, like someone else could do a better job or something.
Do you think that was like a good call, or do you think you would have liked to have seen him in that role?
Gosh, now knowing what Ryan did with the role and like, you know, I can't see anybody else. But I don't know, maybe, but I don't know. You don't know because I don't think Miles is as good as Ryan.
I don't think Miles has that. I don't think Miles has that natural charm that Ryan does. Ryan, you just like love him, and you don't even fucking like. He doesn't even have to talk, and you're just like ah.
Yeah, like in Blade Runner, you're just like okay, like I want to stick with this character, and even in Drive.
Right, he just has that like endearing face. Like you just want to take care of him. So I feel like he was perfect for that role. But going back to The Spectacular Now, the thing that tripped me out about it is like I was watching it and I remember I heard like some songs from the soundtrack, and I was like, oh, okay, like whatever, cool. And then what really tripped me out is like there's this one scene. I mean, I guess I can talk about it because it's old, right?
Came out. Yeah, like I think it came out in 2015. I think 2014.
Yeah, so it's old. But anyways, there's the dance scene.
Yes.
Where they're at the prom.
Yeah.
And I hear like an Ariel Pink song, and I'm like, whoa, that tripped me out because I was like expecting, I don't know why, I was expecting like a 90s song, like the old school, like the ones that they always play in the 90s movies and stuff.
Yeah, the traditional
like an older song.
Ones.
Yeah, like I was expecting like Kiss Me by None the Richer or something. And then like they play an Ariel Pink song, and I was like, whoa, that tripped me out because that like made me realize like how I guess the generations are moving forward, and now this music, contemporary music, is gonna fall into being like a slow dance song. Like I don't know, it just tripped me out. I was like, what the hell? This is weird.
Times are changing, Audrey.
They are, and I'm just like, whoa, because you have all your standard slow dance songs that they use in every movie.
Yeah.
And now they like throw in something like that, and I was like, whoa. But other than that, like I said, I didn't. I gave it like maybe like a 4.5. 4.
Wow, I give it a
don't change it. No, don't change it. Are you sure? You didn't give it like an 8.5?
No, I think I'd give it a 7.
Okay, well, if you say so. Well, yeah, like I gave it like a. I'm telling you, dude, I didn't enjoy it. It's because for me, like, I have to really like a love story. If I'm gonna give it like a high score, like it has to be really good.
Yeah, definitely.
I watched that, and I feel like I watched something else. Oh, and I watched because you know how I told you that I bought the Royal Tenenbaums on Criterion?
Yes, and I think you posted something about it, right?
Yeah, on Snapchat. I rewatched it. One of the scenes. Man, I hadn't seen that movie in a minute, and like rewatching it, I was just like, wow, this is such a great film. Like it made me like fall in love with Wes again because I haven't seen anything from Wes in a long time. I missed Isle of Dogs.
Yeah.
Right. So I missed that. So this made me want to go watch it because this movie reminded me of what he can do. Because I think I watched the last thing I watched of him, I rewatched was Moonrise Kingdom, which is also a good one for me. But I think I prefer the Royal Tenenbaums over
earlier Wes.
Right. Yeah, for sure. So I rewatched that, and that was it. I think that I've seen.
I think since the last time that we did this, I've only seen Searching and Taxi Driver. That's it.
So Searching, who's in it?
John Cho is in it, from Columbus. So that's why I was really excited. And I think that's and then Deborah Messing from Will and Grace, and damn, I'm forgetting the other movie shows in it. But yeah, she's in it as well.
Okay.
And there's other people, but I like of note are those two.
Who did it though? Like, what is it? Like, is it like an indie movie?
Yeah, it's very much an indie movie by an Asian director. Let me pull up the stats right now. But yeah, it's a trip because it's kind of like along the same lines of Unfriended. Like it's that type of film. Oh, what the heck?
Oh wait, I know exactly which one it is. The one where his daughter goes missing.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, dude. The trailer for that movie had me like anxiety. I was just I can't do it.
I do not know how to pronounce this guy's name, the director, but yeah, he's an Asian American director and also an Asian American actor. So that's like, I don't know. A lot of people have been saying like this is the movie that would push, like
rich Asians.
Yeah, over that because I don't know, but I feel like it is like this is the movie. Okay, cool. Like go see it. Go see it. But yeah, the movie definitely. If the trailer gave you a lot of anxiety, then the movie will live up to that. It's so good. It's so well done. It's definitely it makes the way it's like used like film wise, like on the screen or whatever. it does that like in such a unique way that like you're like fuck, like, because you know how we're so used to watching videos on Instagram, we're so used to our phone, so it's like this one kind of feels natural, you know, and it does a lot of unique, cool little ways to like tell the story. But other than that, the performances were great. The story was good. It legit has a lot of twists and turns, and it's just a fun ride. And it's just like, I don't know. It's just, I haven't seen anything like that, if not in a while, that, you know, kind of made me like, oh fuck, like this is dope. This is legit.
Right. And so, but the ending wasn't stupid, right?
No, the ending was when everything is revealed, you're kind of like, oh shit, you know, like you wanna go back and watch it again. And I'm so happy. I think it's getting a wider release this week. So I want to go back and watch it and kind of be like, okay, fuck, like I should have picked this up, or, you know.
Right. Yeah, no, I've seen it, the trailer, and I'm just like, bro, this movie gives me hell anxiety. But I definitely want to go see it because it's like right up my alley. But I'm glad that you told me that it's good. Whew, because I was worried that it was gonna be stupid and it was gonna like be a whack
easy because the way it's like filmed and stuff. But John Cho, at least for me, he's been on fire with this one. He did another one earlier this year. He played a minor role. I think it's called Aquarius or something like that. I missed it, but I heard it was good. And then he has another one coming out with Jesus, what's that actor's name? Ike Barinholtz or whatever. But that one's like a stupid comedy or whatever. But yeah, he has that coming out too. But yeah.
Cool. Well, I definitely will check it out. And then right before we started recording, you told me that you have you're gonna be able to see The Nun.
Oh yeah, The Nun. It's only like, I think like a few days earlier, but yeah, that one I'm gonna go check that one out. And then also the same thing for The Predators or The Predator. I'm not sure how it's named. But yeah, I'm gonna be able to check those out a little bit earlier, which I'm kind of excited for both. Predators. I really enjoyed the first one. The second one, honestly, I haven't seen it. And then the one with Adrian Brody was all right. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was like whatever.
All right.
But I'm excited because the director, he's coming off Nice Guys, and he also has done like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and he did Iron Man 3, and I'm forgetting his name right now. But damn, what's his name, Audrey?
I don't know who did that.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
He was in the original. I'm gonna have to get my Nice Guys DVD. Or Shane Black. There you go. He was in the original Predator as well. So I don't know. It looks different. I like that big old fucking huge Predator.
Yeah.
I just hope, if anything, I hope it's fun. It's a Predator movie, you know. And I'm gonna get to see it early, which means it's free. So
hell yeah. Anything that's free is good in our book. I'm really excited for The Nun. I know that it probably won't be anywhere near. Like I know that it won't be anywhere near as good as The Conjuring. Like I know it, but I hope it's better than people expect it to be. Because I mean, I am a big fan of the series.
Me too. So, and that trailer actually got me.
Which part? Where she like runs? Like where she's like behind her? Yeah.
Yeah, because like you expect that thing to be gone when she turns around, but it's there.
And like, she's just staring at it.
Yeah, it's like, well, do you see her? Don't you? And then like when you're thinking about that, all of a sudden the scare comes. So that's why, because you're kind of like, okay, what the fuck? That catch you off guard, and then like another thing pops up. So I was like, oh fuck, like.
I was actually thinking about having like a little marathon, like watching The Conjuring 1, 2, and then like Annabelle, because I don't know if it's gonna tie in. Maybe because it's like in the same.
I think because I've only seen Annabelle 2.
You didn't watch
not sure what the little. No, I didn't see it, but I heard. Oh, okay, Creation. I think Annabelle Creation. I heard that. Like I've heard a lot of positive buzz, so I went to go see it. And I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. But yeah, those had like a little scene connecting it to The Conjuring.
Right.
I think.
Well, yeah, Annabelle and The Conjuring have been connected. But I wasn't sure if The Nun had anything to do with Annabelle. But anyways, I would want to see like The Conjuring 1 and 2 and then watch The Nun, because just because. But I don't have the second
marathon.
one.
It's not bad to rewatch those films. I like when these movies, like the sequels, come out because it gives you like a reason to watch the older ones.
I rewatch The Conjuring all the time.
It's so good. It's one of the best horror movies I can say like that's come out in the last decade.
Yes, because when I watched it in theaters, it was one of the ones that literally had me like, oh my God. Like I was like, ah.
Yeah, exactly.
It was so good. It was so good. But I'm excited for the Nun for sure.
Yeah, me too. And then next year, I think we're getting The Crooked Man. The Crooked Man.
The Crooked?
Like the Crooked Man, yeah.
Or like Cricket?
No, Crooked. It's that guy that comes out in the second Conjuring that like when there's a little light, the kid has it. There's a little character with an umbrella, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's coming out next year.
Oh my God.
That fool scared me in Conjuring too. Like, so
that sounds like terrifying. Well, yeah, now that I think about it, I'm like, ugh.
I know, I'm just getting the chill.
I get the chill.
Man. Like if I were to see that thing, I would sock it real quick. Like
why would you sock it?
I don't know, I'll probably bite my hand.
Every time you say something, I'll sock you. Like, okay.
Yeah, because that's my first initial reaction. Like I turn around, something's there, like, oh fuck, like, you know, just swing at it, you know?
I'm gonna sock you.
Like, I'll sock I'm
like that's what I was thinking. If it's a spirit, like you're not gonna be able to do anything to it.
Well, I don't know. What if it's an actual creature and like when I swing, it just bites my hand off?
I can't. Like, it gives me like the chills because it was a really creepy. Now that I think about it, I'm like, oh crap! And the fact that he's gonna get his own movie, I didn't know that. So
yeah, I'm excited.
Kind of crazy.
It's cool that like The Conjuring, it just spun off these little movies, and I can't wait to see Conjuring 3.
Well, because it has so much to work with, because it's based on Lorraine and Ed Warren, you know, so they had a bunch of cases. So yeah. I feel like, I'm not sure, I feel like they probably just got bits and bobs. And then from that, it just like spawned this whole like
universe.
Thing. Right. And I think all of them,
universe. There,
all of them have been, all of them, the what?
I said it's been, that universe has been doing better than the DC universe.
Damn, you heard it here first.
Because I mean, okay, Wonder Woman and Man of Steel.
Wonder Woman has been great. Well, yeah, it could have carried over the other ones.
And Justice League, I enjoyed it, but I'm not gonna call it a great movie. Batman vs Superman, I enjoy it, but I'm not gonna call it a good movie.
No,
so, like that's what I'm saying. They're 2 for 5, I think.
Yeah, I know.
And yeah, the Suicide Squad, let's not even go there.
And you know, it's so unfortunate because I feel like DC has some of the best characters.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Like character-wise, even like I said, I think someone asked me that question, like, what do you prefer, DC and Marvel? And I always say DC, but not in the movies currently.
Like, don't ignore the movies.
Like DC has Watchmen, the Dark Knight trilogy, even the Tim Burton Batmans. You know, they have solid movies, but not like this DCU, you know. And the comics are great. Yeah, I think DC overall is better than Marvel.
Yeah, for sure. And they have like the best villains of all time. Like, give me a break. Like, there's just no comparison. It's just so unfortunate that someone can't get it right.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, they get one really good one, like The Dark Knight, which was like fantastic.
I'm gonna go see it this Thursday.
I know. I remember. I was like, I fucking hate you for that because you're gonna get to go see it. But they have a really good one, and then they have a bunch of shitty ones, and I'm just like, dude, like, I don't even get me started. Like with Suicide Squad, that was a big letdown. I still enjoyed it, but it was just.
What do you, with all this being said, are you looking forward to Aquaman?
I am, because I'm hoping that it goes more in the direction that Wonder Woman had. Like, I feel like they're trying
to connected.
Well, like, you know what I mean? Like, I hope that I don't know. I hope it goes more in that general direction, but I could be wrong. And plus, it's Jason Momoa, and like, I'll watch anything with him in it. So.
Yeah, and then James Wan, I feel like he's a great choice for this because, like, you know, Saw, Death Sentence, Dead Silence, and The Conjuring.
Right.
You're just talking about The Conjuring. So he does. It's weird how he's like horror based, but now he's doing superheroes. So like, I don't know. I feel like if they focus on Aquaman and his character in that world of Atlantis,
right.
and like kind of like not a lot of people like Thor, but I love Thor in his Asgard, and I loved Wonder Woman and Themyscira and Black Panther in Wakanda. Like I love those different worlds. So I hope they dive into that world, and it's gonna make it awesome. I don't know. And I love sharks.
Well, you see, that's what I meant by saying, like, I hope they take it the Wonder Woman route where they focus more on his thing, like on his like his background and stuff. I think if they do that, then they'll be fine. But if they try and take it into like another direction, then I'm just gonna be like, what the fuck? But I think they will.
Black Manta looks badass. He looks awesome.
Yeah. So, like I said, they have everything down. They just They just need to execute it.
And what about Shazam?
I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen the trailer?
Well, I mean, I've seen the trailer, but I didn't really focus on him.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I don't know too much about him. I just know he's a little boy with he can take on Superman basically. So that's going to be interesting. And I mean, from the trailer, I liked it. It seems fun. It literally doesn't seem like a DCEU film. It looks like more like a Marvel film.
Right.
But, with Shazam. So with that being said, I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm really excited for it. I hope it's not bad.
Yeah, just as long as it's not like really bad, like we'll be okay. But even then, like I really wanted to do well. You know what I'm saying? In order for the namesake of
for us
DC
to get
Universe.
Man of Steel 2, the Batman, Flash. I really hope. Okay, all this shit could go to hell. They couldn't reboot or whatever, but let's please, for the love of God, get a Man of Steel 2. And that's it. That's all I'm asking for. Not even Batman. Batman's already had his series.
You don't think that they're gonna do it?
It's been when was it? 2013. So it's been what, like, I'm horrible at math. Like 5 years already, right? Yeah, 5 years. It's been 5 years, and they still haven't, like, there's no mention of it. And it's like, dude, like, Man of Steel for me is like one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. It's in my top 10 of all time. And I didn't even like Superman before that. I thought he was like, oh, this is a schoolboy. Yeah, schoolboy whack fool who always does, things the right way. And like this movie is like, oh shit, like there's some layers to this guy,
Right. Yeah. I mean, it definitely was good, and you're right. There hasn't been any mention about it, so maybe they're just gonna let it. I don't know. I honestly thought that they were gonna make it a second one, though. I did.
So it was supposed to be Batman v Superman, but then they're like, "Oh fuck, we can do all this shit," and then just Batman v Superman happened and all this,
And now we were left with whatever that was. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But anyways, should we talk about our pièce résistance?
Yes, we're gonna be talking about Happy Time Murder. We're gonna be
People
talking
are gonna
about
dislike this video.
Oh, I know. So yeah, Taxi Driver, like I mentioned before, it was one of those movies that there's still a lot of movies that are like, oh my god, they're highly coveted. Sometimes they're overhyped, and sometimes they live up to the hype. And I feel like for me, Taxi Driver met that and kind of exceeded it, because I didn't think I was gonna like it this much, or even like love it this much. So yeah, I want you to start first, Audrey.
Why? Because you're just gonna go off?
Yeah, but like I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like I always start. You rewatched it, right? You rewatched it because we're supposed to make this podcast like for the last month. Oh
my god,
we've been trying to do this for the last month.
Seriously, dude, like what the fuck? We barely came around to doing it. But anyways, I was rewatching it because I remember you told me I'm gonna watch it, and then I was like, shit, I knew you're gonna want to review it and talk about it. So I was like, I have to rewatch it because I mean I've seen it a few times, but it's always good to just get like a refresher.
Yeah, going with
I mean, what can I say? It's just as good as it is like the 8th time that you see it as it is the first time. I feel like the first time you watch it, you're just kind of like, what the fuck? Like, that was crazy. But then when you rewatch it, you catch all the little details that make it such a classic and good performance. Like, it's just so good. Like, I can't even, I mean, start with Robert De Niro's performance. I mean, it was just great. Just good. Like, wow.
When
so iconic. When did I first see it?
Did you watch it in theaters when they came out, or?
Yes, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. No, I watched this probably when I was like maybe like 15, I want to say. And I remember I was on a Robert De Niro kick because I was like watching all of his films. I got like obsessed with him for a minute, and then I picked that one up
too.
I know, he's just so good, and I think it's so heartbreaking for me when people tell me like, oh yeah, the guy from Meet the Fockers, and I'm like, bro, like what the fuck, like really? I'm just like no, dude, like they're like, oh yeah, that guy, and I'm like, no,
you know what? That happened to me. That happened to me.
What do you mean? Like because you were the one that said that?
No. I recently told someone, oh, I recently watched this movie, and I was showing her the soundtrack, and she said, oh, Robert De Niro, like, where is he from again? And I was like, oh, this movie, like, oh, I don't know. And then I said, Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers, and stuff like that. They're like, oh, okay. That happened exactly. Actually, I think that happened this morning.
No, you're lying.
I swear to God, it happened this morning. I was like, I'm telling you,
can't stand that.
I was playing I have the score on repeat. So I was playing it, and then that's when that conversation happened.
I honestly can't stand it. Same thing when people tell me about Dustin Hoffman. They tell me the same thing. They're like, oh yeah, the guy from Meet the Parents or Meet the Fockers. And I'm just like, have you not ever heard of The Graduate? Like,
I haven't even seen The Graduate.
You haven't seen The Graduate?
No, but I
thought you had.
No. Audrey. All right, Audrey's gonna announce her.
It's because those are like, like let me just give you my letter of what do you call it?
Resignation. No more Audrey, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't support the real talk because he hasn't seen The Graduate. Well, no, it's just because like that's one of my favorites too. So I just like, I can't. But yeah, same thing when people tell me that, and I'm just like looking at them like, yeah, okay, sure. But anyways, going back to Robert De Niro, I mean, he was so young, and just man, his performance is great. I love the whole in the like where you can hear him his thoughts. You know, narrating. He's doing the voiceover. Yeah, he's doing the voiceover. He's narrating the film. I think that's so brilliant. On the behalf of the director to do that. That was amazing.
Sometimes that works, and sometimes that doesn't. Like when it doesn't, it fucking kills the whole movie. But like for me, another good example of that is Fight Club, where he's like, it literally, I think he's credited as narrator. But yeah, when it works, it's awesome. Like, cause it's like giving you a gateway to this person's psyche, and then you see him in the real world, you know, like doing his things.
Right, and I think it just lended itself to the movie. Like, it just has this sort of like kind of like he's going crazy thing, like he was in the army, you know, like it just gives him that like schizophrenic vibe. It gives him like, oh yeah, my bad. It gives him this like schizophrenic vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like it. Same thing with Clockwork Orange. That's one of my favorite things about that movie, that Alex is always doing the narration, and it just gives that vibe of like they're crazy or something. So I think it adds to that. I know.
I'm just kidding. No, I've seen Clockwork Orange.
You have?
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, how come we never talk about it?
It's just never come up, I guess.
But I think, didn't you ask me what my favorite Stanley movie was? And what did you say? What was yours is The Shining.
Mine's The Shining, but I knew yours was Clockwork Orange. Like I had a feeling.
Right. But anyways, going back to me.
Yeah.
But going back to that, that's what I like about that. His look is just on point. Like when he shaves his head, like that's so iconic. Just it's great all around. And then I thought it was funny that we saw another movie with Jodie Foster in it when she's like what, like 12?
She was 14. No, actually, yeah, I think she was 12 or 14.
She looks so young.
Yeah, I was because at first, I think she comes up in the credits, in the opening credits, and I'm like, what the fuck, Jodie Foster? I'm like, what the hell? So I looked it up, and I think that's when I found out De Niro at the time was like 33, and he was playing like a 26-year-old. But yeah, and then I think she was like 14 or 12, one of those. And there's a lot of scenes where her sister's playing her because her sister was of age, and she couldn't do none of the things she was doing. So,
right.
So yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah. Her performance was really good too. Really enjoyed it. Overall, it's just a solid film. I just think has so many iconic things in it. Like I can't even begin to talk
Mr.
about.
Harvey Keitel.
Right. Yeah.
He looks so really fucking pachuco, like with his fucking muscle shirt and like
I know
fucking fedora and shit. Looks like an OG gangster. Like, damn, dude, he was pretty cut too.
Yeah, he's been like ever since I've seen him in a few other movies, and he always plays that role, that like gangster role.
Oh shit! And he's originally, fuck, I think he was gonna play another role. I'm forgetting which one he was supposed to play, but he told Martin Scorsese because I think, no. He told him like, no, I want to play this guy. I want to play the pimp.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, he's like, and no, I want that one.
He did an amazing job because he just has that look about him. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
exactly. He was also so young in that. Like, Jesus.
I know. I'm just like, you like trip out. You're like, what the hell? But yeah, it's just a classic for sure. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts because I always kind of get nervous. Same thing with Silence of the Lambs. Like I get nervous because I'm like, did it live up to the hype? Did I hype it up too much? Did it stand the test of time? Like, what did you think? Like, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, well, like I said, this one was again like one of those movies that like everybody says that it's highly coveted and in their top 10 or whatever. So I always go into these like kind of cautious, because I don't want to get my expectations too high, and I understand that sometimes the movie doesn't stand the test of time, sometimes. But yeah, when I first saw it, when I was watching it, I got vibes of, I think because I was listening to a podcast that was discussing Fight Club, and they were kind of saying, okay, this is how it's similar to Taxi Driver. Mm-hmm. So I made my own little connections to that, and I also made my own little connections to this movie right here, especially with this guy, Rorschach. So that's why I really loved it. Okay. I really liked it because, at one point he says, oh, like May 10th, 19 something, whatever. And I was like, fuck, like that's just exactly like Rorschach. He's like, oh, October something. They have a lot of similarities, these two characters. So I was kind of comparing those movies, and how I feel about Fight Club and Watchmen. Right. So that made my, okay, cool, like Taxi Driver, I dig it. I fucking love it. Then came Robert De Niro's performance, which I don't know. I feel I haven't seen other movies of his like Raging Bull, and is he in King of Comedy? Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there's other ones too. But for me, this so far, this is my favorite performance of it because it's like it's a completely different person. It's like he is Travis,
Seriously, he like morphs into the character.
Yeah, and it's just so like I want to watch it again just to like kind of ignore everything and just watch him, like just watch his performances, because even when it begins with his eyes, like fuck, like this guy's intense. So just I feel like this movie is one of those movies that's like a true character study of this guy that's fucked. Like he has so many layers, so much stuff going on with him, and he kind of puts you in that place. Like, okay, like I can connect to this character because of A, B, and C, Right. And I can go like a million different places. But I'll agree with you. The performances were great. Albert Brooks is in this as well. And Sybil Shepherd, she's gorgeous. But yeah, they're pretty cool. And just the music, like I said, I've been having the score on repeat. Bernard Herrmann, it was his last score he did before he died 2 days after he finished the score. But yeah, it's so amazing, just like the way it starts with the saxophone and stuff like that. It gives it this sort of vibe, you know?
Yeah.
I love it. I just love it. I love everything about it, like just the character of Travis and so many iconic things. And there's actually this he's gonna be like, I'm not sure if anybody's gonna know him, but there's this artist called Benefit, and he's like a rapper. And there's two songs that always started with scenes of a movie. And there's a song called Midget. No, If I Owned a Midget. And when it begins, it begins with that scene in Taxi Driver when he's with the other taxi drivers, and one of them is talking about like he picked up this midget or something, and like,
oh yeah,
yeah, they always want to sit in the front seat or something like that. And I was like, fuck, like that was from Taxi Driver. And then there's another one called My Story, and it starts with the monologue of Robert De Niro, that whole line, that whole little conversation he has with himself, like about being God's lonely man and stuff like that. And I was like, oh fuck, this was also from that movie too. So it was cool to make that connection finally. But yeah, I don't know. I can go on and on with this movie about like some of his character decisions and stuff like that. The cinematography and the directing in this was also on point. Like everything, I feel like Martin Scorsese is like one of those directors like where like everything in a shot is there for a reason, you know. And even like the way this movie begins with the fucking smog or whatever it is, the smoke or whatever it is, and then the taxi driver appears and so like I don't know, just the color of this movie, just everything, it sets up that whole world of New York really well.
Like the real grimy and like gritty.
Yeah, grimy and gritty and stuff like that. And then again, that kind of brought me back to Watchmen, because I felt like Travis was Rorschach, you know. Like they have a lot of, they talk to themselves and like, oh, this city is afraid of me. I seen his true face, and how Travis talks about the, like, you know, how he views society and stuff like that. And honestly, like that's why I had some connections to Travis, because like sometimes I find myself like thinking that too, you know, like, oh, like I'm special because I think different from everybody or something, you know. And like I don't know, I just
you're more woke.
I'm more woke, yeah, like, you know, like or whatever.
Really?
Yeah, just this movie. And then it's cool to see Martin Scorsese in this film too.
I know, it like trips you out, right? You're just like, what?
Yeah, he was not supposed to play that role. I think the actor, I think he got like really sick or something, but he couldn't do it like a day before. So Martin Scorsese like, fine, fuck it, like I'll do it, you know. But like I was like, fuck, like this character fits him so well, like, you know, especially what he's talking about, like, oh yeah, like, you know, you see that woman up there, like that's my wife, but that's not my apartment, you know, like, you know what I'm gonna do, you know, like he's like, I'm sick, am I? Like, you think I'm really sick? Like, just everything about that scene was cool.
Just and like, what the heck?
Yeah, and it's just like, because obviously, like, I've known all this stuff because I went to like, okay, cool, like I want to see like the behind the scenes and stuff like that. So it's just fascinating, a lot of the things that Martin, everybody were able to do, especially Robert De Niro. Like a lot of stuff was improv, like that famous line, "Are you talking to me?" You know, basically in the script. Again, and then Paul Schrader did the script, and he actually just did First Reformed, and he's interesting character within himself, but. In the script, it literally says, "Oh, Travis in front of a mirror." That's all it said, and he just pulled all that, you know, out of his ass or whatever. So
and it became like the most iconic of all times. Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah, and it's like, to be honest, I'm like, why is that? I feel like other parts in the movie are so iconic, you know, like more like more.
But it's just so good. Like, how can you not like it? Like, it's just so brilliant. You're like, it's something so simple. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, if you think about it, you're like, it's just simple, but for some reason it just works. Exactly. You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah. I love it. But what did you think about the ending?
The ending is bizarre because it's like, for some reason, like, I feel like the movie starts off with his eyes, because obviously it's like we're seeing the world in his point of view. We hear his thoughts. And the way it's filmed, how we see like New York sometimes, and then there's a scene when they're in the diner or whatever, and there's an odd there's an odd shot where he's just looking at the cup of I think he puts an Alka-Seltzer in it or something, and the shot lingers in there for a while. So it's like this movie is like with his own eyes, you know?
Right.
And I feel like there's a lot of times going back to watch this the second time, there's a lot of times where it's like, oh, well, did he make this up? Like, was this in his head or something, you know? Like there was this one time, I think he calls Betsy after he takes her to that theater and stuff like that. You see, things like that for me make the character work really well, because he legit like took her there, but he wasn't like, he didn't want it. He came at it with like good
bad intentions. Yeah, he
exactly.
did it with a bad intention.
Like he's, oh, I I don't really go to the movies, you know, like I just thought to bring you here, you know, like he's a, tell me where you want to go and I'll go. And then she's a bitch too, like, oh, I keep it, I have this album already. He's like, fucking, like that sucks, man. Like I don't know. And he goes back and he's pissed, like, yo, you're just like the rest of them. And I don't know, it's pretty cool. I like, I'm telling you. But there was this one scene where he calls her, like I think it was the day before or whatever. He's like, oh, like, hey, I keep calling you, but you know, you don't, like, it seems like he's having a conversation with her. But then, like, the shot goes into, like, an empty hall. Like, you see nothing. So I'm thinking, like, that's kind of like saying there's no one on the other side. Like, he's kind of just pretending, like, to have that conversation, you know? So with the ending, it's like, fuck, like, did he die or something? Because, like, then we see him, like, after he gets shot and all that stuff, and he's, like, fine. He's with his coworkers and shit, and, you know, he goes to do another run.
He just recovers. Yeah.
Yeah. He goes to do another run, and like it's Betsy, you know, and all of a sudden, like, he's a hero, you know, when in your eyes when you're watching the movie, it's like, man, like I feel for this guy, but he's doing some horrible stuff. Like he wants to assassinate the potential next president, you know, and he wants to do some gnarly stuff, and he ends up, you know, going to cartel and killing him, or he shoots him and stuff like that, trying to get Jody out of that situation. So he does all that stuff. So like you kind of understand where he's coming from, but you wouldn't do those things. And then it's kind of weird how like all that happens, and like, oh, he's like a hero, you know? Yeah. Kind of like those different views. But I don't know. I kind of want to say like it all happened, you know, like it all just played out, because the whole time he's kind of just like, man, like I'm special, I'm unique, I'm supposed to be doing something else with my life. So I feel like that was like the whole, like I guess the arc of him, you know, like he finally did something, like he meant for it, I guess, in a different way, but he eventually got what he was yearning for, you know?
Right. Well, yeah, no, I agree with you. It was a little bit confusing and crazy, but I definitely do think it happened. But that ending scene too is super iconic, like when he's like laying there. He's just like,
oh yeah, man, like I'm telling you, there's a lot of different things. Even when he's in the theater too, he's just like, you know, like there's a lot of things about his character. Yeah, like I was like, fuck, like I like this guy.
He has like the embodiment. He has like the embodiment, like this, like I don't know, kind of like a anti-hero type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And then like all credit to De Niro for that.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's the one that made the character. He took the character there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
He's the one that made it like that. And he was just great. He just embodied it perfectly, actually. But yeah, that's why I think this movie's so memorable, and it makes you want to watch it again just for those specific scenes too. You're just kind of like, damn, like it's worth rewatching. So for you, I'm assuming it did stand the test of time.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, like I was expecting a good film, but I didn't expect it to like blow me away the way it did. I think the last time I saw a movie like that, and not knocking any other movies that I've seen, but 2001, like I said earlier, put me in that place. Like I saw it and I was just like fuck.
Mind blown.
You know, mind blown, exactly. And I think because of these films, I'm starting to like, okay, like, you know what? I want to see more of this. You know, give me more. Right. Give me more of these things. They're gonna make me think, you know, and kind of make either think or kind of help me and just to justify some of my thoughts, you know, about life or something, you know. So
I'm glad that you liked it. I always get worried that I'm going to overhype it, you know?
Yeah.
Because I tend to do that. But that's just because I'm really passionate about them.
Yeah.
So, like, sometimes, like, I mean, I know I come off as, like, oh my God, John, like, I can't believe you haven't watched it. But it's just because, like, I want you to watch a great movie. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to experience what I experienced when I first watched it. So that's the only reason that I, like, when people tell me, like, they haven't seen a certain movie and I just want to kill them because I'm like, how have you not seen this? You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad that you watched it. I'm glad that you enjoyed it that much. It makes me very happy. You have no idea. I'm like, over the moon. What would you rate it then?
Yeah, right now it's at a 9.5, but
damn, that's damn near perfect.
I'm considering it to be 10 because I'm just like, what is bad about it?
Like the more you keep thinking about it?
Yeah, like I seen it 2 times and I really want, I literally just want to cancel on you right now and watch it again. And I think I'm going to, but it's just like, I don't know. I think right now it's a 9.5, but I don't know why I'm not giving it a 10. I think I just give it a
10. It's always scary to give a film a 10. Like I told you, I hardly give out 10s. And the times that I do give out 10s is just because it's like my favorite movie. But so I don't know. I don't blame you for not giving it a straight up 10 like that, but I mean, a 9.5 is pretty fucking good. Like, it's just, like, shy away from 10. So I think you obviously liked it, you know?
Yeah. I can say that I loved it. I love this film. I can say that, yeah.
Now it's in your classic favorite collection.
Yeah. And I'm glad I have the 40th anniversary because it has a lot of stuff. Like I told you, I was diving into, like, the special features and stuff. So, like, and I love that.
I fucking hate you. I just have the Blu-ray.
It was $10 at Best Buy.
I know. I just have the Blu-ray one though. I'm not cool like you.
The basic one.
I just have the basic one. Yeah. But you know what? Now that we talked about this, I just want to kind of like touch the surface because you know, why not? Because we're just talking anyways. Yeah. So you know how you said that watching this movie and like Silence of the Lambs and 2001 Space Odyssey have made you want like to watch more of those movies. We've talked about this already previously, and I want to bring it up again just because I want other people's opinions as well. So we talked about...
I'm scared, Audrey.
No, because we already talked about it. We talked about how I told you that like I thought I was losing my edge as a movie buff because I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I feel like I'm watching like all these shitty movies and I'm kind of not paying attention to these like other indie films. So I forgot what you said, but what's the difference for you between being like a movie person, like a movie lover, and a movie buff? Like, do you think it has to do anything with like, oh, I just watch Criterion, or you know what I'm saying? Like, does that make a person more, I guess, movie buff, or does that make them a movie lover as well? Is it the same thing? Like, what's your opinion on that?
Yeah,
that honestly bugs the shit out of me. I always think about it.
It's weird because, like, I feel like I'm right in the middle of these people because obviously we know, for example, YouTube. Me and you have better views, more subscribers if we just did like Marvel, Star Wars, the big things, you know. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the reasons why I started the Real Talk, and especially with you, because I feel like our love of movies are kind of similar because we're kind of just open to everything. Mm-hmm. Whatever each end of the spectrum, you know, like those obviously, like I said, Marvel, those big higher end blockbuster movies that are meant to just entertain you, I guess. And in mm-hmm. movies like this, like Taxi Driver, or like other movies that are kind of like, yeah, they're good films, but they're not necessarily for like the general movie going public or whatever. Right. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is like, I grew up watching like the bigger films and then slowly started to get into the other films. And right now, like I said, like I am watching the Taxi Driver. I am unfortunately going to watch Happy Time Murders or The Meg or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be watching like the Nun and all those. See, like for me, if for film is film, and it whether you like it or not, it includes everything, like from all over the genres or whatever. So if you're a cinephile, if you really love film, you can appreciate and understand. Okay, Avengers was, well, I don't know. Avengers is kind of different, but like, you know, there's those movies that like, okay, we understand these were made to make money and to be, you know, just throw popcorn in your face, sit back and have a nice time. And we understand the difference, so we can enjoy them and then go home and watch something like this, you know.
Right.
But when I feel like if you just watch Transformers and all that stuff, I don't know. I feel like you like those type of films, but you don't like everything. You know, you're kind of just closed off in your little square. Same thing goes for other people that just watch, you know, those Moonlights or foreign films or whatever. They're just trapped in that little box, and they don't think that other films can be good just because they're not in this little box. You know, you know, just because it's not a foreign film or a classic or something, it can't be good. You know, it's hard for them to accept that. You know, like there is a such thing like a Logan or like Infinity War. That's why I didn't want to call it a big blockbuster, because it is. But for me, at least, it's more than that, because it's literally 10 years of film, and that has an actual surprising good story. It's not, you know, elaborate with that, but it's, for me, I would put it higher than the average, you know, blockbuster movie, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, that those people in that little box that just don't watch bigger films, they don't understand that these movies are slowly getting better. Because like I said, there's a Logan, Captain America, Winter Soldier, Avengers, Infinity War. They're slowly starting to become more than just superhero films, you know?
Yeah.
And they have elements of those type of movies that me and you like, you know, like that actually have layers, and it's complex and you can dive deep into it. So I definitely think there is a difference. And if you call yourself a cinephile or a movie lover or whatever you want to call yourself, you have to be able to at least watch everything, be open-minded to everything, whether it be a blockbuster, an indie, a foreign film, whatever. Because then if you just watch what it's in your box, and you're just into that, you know, like, oh, I only listen to rap music, or I only listen to country or whatever, you know, you can't call yourself an audiophile or whatever it is, because you're not open to everything, you know?
Right. And that I'm actually really happy
that covers it.
Yeah, well, I think that's a good point that you brought up, because I think it goes the same with music and books and anything that has to do with the arts. And that's why I do call myself a music lover, because my music ranges from everything too. Like, I know a lot of people will be like, oh, like, I like all kinds of music. And then they're like, but except country, or except salsa, or except this, except that. And I'm like, then obviously you're not a music lover, because I feel like if you're a music lover, you'll dabble into everything. Like, you'll give anything a chance.
Literally everything. Like, new wave,
and if you don't,
new age,
and if you're not down for it, then that's different. You just didn't like it, but at least you tried it. At least you like listened to it once, and you're like, hey, you know what? I'm not down for that sound. But like, you're not completely like canceling out the whole genre because of that one song. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't like all ska music, but I'm not going to say I don't like ska, because there are some that I do like, you know? So that's what I'm saying. So I think it's the same with movies. And I mean, that's why I thought about it, because I was like, well, I mean, can I even consider myself like a cinephile now? Because like, what if like it's just like you have to watch a certain type of film? But then I thought about it, and I was like, well, no, because I mean, I can watch whatever the fuck I want. Like, I just watch a variety. Like, I can tell you from different kinds of directors, and then I can watch like something super mainstream. Like, it doesn't matter to me. But of course I have like my favorites. So like, everyone knows that I love horror. So of course I'm going to gravitate more towards horror when something comes out, but I'll still watch anything. You know what I'm saying? So
you still have your rom-coms that you like.
Right. Exactly. I still, yeah, for sure. Like, if you look at my movies, you're going to be like, what the fuck? Like, it's just super variety. Like, there's no pattern. I just like everything. So yeah, so it kind of makes me sad. Like I told you too, that like there's people that will disregard Marvel movies or DC movies or anything like that because they're a good time. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just a good time. There's times where you just want to go to the movies and chill and just watch something like that. But then there's other times where you want to watch like a Columbus, or you want to watch like a Call Me by Your Name that's a little bit more in depth, you know, like it's just variety. So so I think we both stand.
I think we're both on the same ship, and I don't want to discredit either people in the camps on each side of the spectrum, because at the end of the day, they do love movies, you know.
Right.
We're all in this little bubble that love movies. It's just that, like, I don't know. I feel like you have to be open to everything. Not necessarily you have to like everything, but at least watch it and make your own opinion. Because if you go into like, oh man, I heard this shit sucks because this. Oh, that's why we don't really like Rotten Tomatoes, because we all go into a different movie and have a different experience with it. Because obviously, like something like Taxi Driver, someone can go in and hate it, not because it's boring, because it just didn't affect them the way it affected me or you know?
Right.
And I think that's true with every film. And it's not like me and you don't know the difference of what this film is trying to go for or this film is trying to go for, you know? Unfortunately, we do live in a world that revolves around money makes the world go around, you know? So obviously Hollywood is a business, but it's like, just because it's trying to make, you know, you have a good time or trying to make money doesn't mean it can't be good, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And same ways goes to the other one. Sometimes there's movies that are trying to be indie or trying to be pretentious or whatever, and they end up being like, oh, well, what the fuck was it? Like last year, Mother, even though the more and more I think about Mother, I actually think it's that's filmmaking at its finest, you know? But there's a lot of people that just hated that movie, you know?
Yeah. But there's also letdowns. Like for me, it was Woodstock, which just was a letdown for me.
Oh yeah, there's another thing, like an A24 film. I mean, you were excited for it. You know, it gave you a vibe of like melancholia. You know.
Yeah.
And we both watched it, and we're kind of like, well, what the fuck was this?
Right. Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not going to just stand behind it because it's A24, because I could very well be like, oh, you know, like it's A24, so it's good. But obviously, I'm not going to lie and say that I enjoyed it when I didn't, you know? Like, if other people enjoyed it, cool. Like, you know, like, good for you. Like, if you understood it and it called you and it, like, made an impact in your life, great.
All power to you.
Yeah, but for me, it just didn't. So,
yeah. And there's those people, too, that are like, thick-headed and like, oh no, it was an A24 film,
right?
You guys just don't understand it, you know? It's like, well, what the fuck? Like, it's like that with every film. Like that's why I kind of want to stay away from like, oh, if you liked Transformers last night, even though I wanted to fucking walk out and I hated that movie, unfortunately, and I don't know why, there's still some people that like that movie. So I don't know. I kind of want to refrain from calling it, like, making fun of it, because there is people out there that like it, you know, and all power to them.
Someone's gonna, there's like an audience for everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter how lousy the movie is. Like, that's why there's such thing as cult classics. Like, they bombed when they came out, but then there was a certain group of people that felt so strongly about it that it became like this, like, classic. You know what I'm saying? Like, most of those films, they just did horribly in the box office, but then they got their own, like, fandom, and it made them great, you know? Like, it's just like Planet 9 from Outer Space, regarded one of the worst movies in all time, but for some reason, it's still really famous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's, like, this, like, fan base that just crowds around the movie, and they're just going to support it and bring it up. So that's what I'm saying. There's an audience for everything. It doesn't matter what you're filming. Like, someone's gonna like it. Someone's gonna watch it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like art. Everything is just so subjective. So that's why I don't personally like it. This is my personal opinion. I don't personally like it when people are like really harsh and critiquing movies in general. Not even if it's a Marvel, DC, or if it's like a art house film. I don't care. If you're just critiquing like one side of the spectrum, I'm like, don't fucking talk to me, because you're not giving it a chance. And that's what I don't like. So, so yeah, that's my opinion on that. I just wanted to hear your thoughts.
No, I know. And then I know there's, how can I put this? Like, if it comes down to, like, I told you, I think we've had this discussion various times before too. Like, we have, like, if we want to keep a film and like erase one, like, I think I'm going to come down to movies that make me think, you know, that had an effect on me, because I feel like that's what art is supposed to do. Because again, for example, you look at this painting, someone can stare at it for days and be thinking about that, you know. Another person can just walk by it, not pay attention to it, you know. So, or someone can enjoy it for a few days and just, you know, go back to it every now and then, and someone's still looking at it. I think at the end of the day, we both know, obviously, that there is a such thing of like filmmaking. We can like, that's what I'm saying. Like Mother, I like it. I don't like it as much as other people, and some people hate it. But me and you can understand, okay, that was filmmaking at its finest, you know? And there is going to be films like, okay, this is filmmaking. And then there's something like Ant-Man and the Wasp, which I really enjoyed, but it's not, you know.
It's entertainment.
It's entertainment, but at the same time, people come at it like, oh, you see, like, is that really what you want to like? And it's like, well, dude, like, you got to realize that it wasn't trying to go for that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It wasn't trying to be the next best picture or something. It was just trying to go for this, you know? And
it's just trying to be there for a good time and entertainment.
Yeah, like what I'm trying to stress is like me and you know the difference, and I think that's what it comes down to. Like, you got to know the difference and kind of like, okay, it all fits, you know. There's room for everything to fit and come together and be enjoyed by everybody, you know. And like I said, it's not necessarily like I'm telling everybody to watch and love everything, but just like, that's what I'm saying. Back to the real talk. That's why I wanted to start with this channel, because I feel like, you know, we have a certain taste in movies, but just give this movie a chance. You know, just because doesn't have like Tom Cruise in it, you know, doesn't mean it's not good. Or just because, you know, it does have Tom Cruise in it, you know, it's not good. Like, either way, like, just ignore what everybody says. If you're passionate about film, if you love film, go into it and make your own opinion about it. That's what I want to stress about, like the real talk and just movies in general. You know, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I think that that's really cool that you brought that up about knowing the distinction, because it kind of reminds me of something. I was rewatching David Lynch's The Art Life. I think it's called The Art of Life. No, The Art Life, I think. It's like it's like a little mini documentary on him. But he says something, because he didn't start off as a director. He didn't want to make movies. He was a painter. And that's what he started doing at first. That was his thing. But then he said that one time he saw one of his paintings and he saw it, like, he imagined it moving. And that's what made him, like, propelled him to be like, hey, like, I can make a work of art, but, like, you know, like a visual work of art with movies. So you have people like that take filmmaking and they make it into a piece of art, because, I mean, they're so fucking brilliant that they know how to do it. And you can see how it's different, because the storytelling's different. Cinematography is different. Color palette's amazing, you know, like everything just kind of meshes well and it makes a work of art. So that's how I think you can know the difference between filmmaking. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's all these different little things that go into it that show you, like, okay, this person isn't just a director, they're an artist, because they're telling you this specific story through the lens. So I think that's really, really important. And I think that's why, obviously, I mean, they're like art house films. But like you said, I mean, it's important to know the distinction so you can criticize a movie right. You know what I'm saying? Like, this movie was made like a ghost story. Obviously, I'm not going to watch a ghost story 10 million times, because it's one of those movies that you watch. I mean, I have rewatched it, and I know you have too. But it's
Once
not
or
one
twice.
of those movies. No, you've seen it like 10 times. But it's not one of those movies that you can just like watch like when I'm getting ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally have to sit down and watch it. Like, it's like gonna demand my full attention. Yeah. Because if not, I'm just gonna be like looking like, what the hell's going on? Like, there's a guy walking around with a sheet on his head. Like, what the fuck? So it's one of those movies that demands your full on attention. It's not like you can have it on the background for background noise. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So yeah. So I think that's pretty cool that you brought that up. It is important to know the distinction for sure.
Yeah, and I think our goals is for people to just break out of their little square or circle or whatever, and just watch and enjoy film, and, you know, have your experience with it. And it could be good or bad, but until you watch a film, I don't think you can say anything about it. You can't say, oh, that movie's. That's a lot of things too, because like the reason why we don't really like Rotten Tomatoes is because like someone can see, okay, cool, we're going to the movies. What's good? Oh, let's check Rotten Tomatoes, and they can discredit some other movies that might be good for you. So I don't know. I just kind of want to reiterate that and say, you know what? At the end of the day, make your own opinion about it, and don't listen to negative or positive, things about the movie. If you have some interest in watching it, like don't let that affect you.
Just by all means, go watch it.
Yeah, go watch it if you have an interest, and make your own opinion about it. And if you want to talk about a film too, and let's say a lot of people are talking shit about a movie or talking positively, you may want to have a natural reaction of like, oh, whatever. But that should like make you take initiative and say, okay, well, let me go see it, and let's see if these group of people are right or these group of people are right. You can't just not see a movie and just start criticizing it. It's like your whole argument is invalid. Right away, like you have no credibility.
Yeah, because you're just going based off of what you heard, or you know what I'm saying. Like it's not, you can't make an opinion based on something that you haven't experienced.
Yeah, and like I said, like I just wish people would break out of their thing, because it's like you're so stubborn about whether you like these type of films or these type of films. That's like, well, what is like, like how could I? Like, as a person, I think you should just not be like that with anything at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, be so stubborn about something that you won't do X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. No, I think that's a great. I think this discussion was great because, yeah, I think we agree for the most part on that whole thing. So
yeah,
you pretty much covered what I was thinking too. But like I said, I think about this a lot because I don't know. It's something that bugs me. Something with music and books, like it's just always on my mind. Like I'm always like, I hate when people criticize something that they don't have an experience. So that just goes with what you were saying about the movies. Speaking of which, I kind of mentioned to you about Blaze, and I didn't.
Oh yeah.
And the reason that I was asking was because they were gonna have a special screening today, but obviously I didn't go. They were gonna have a special screening, and Ethan Hawke and the main guy, God, what's his name? Ben? Is it Ben? Crap. Let me look it up really quick. But they were gonna be there for a Q&A, and I was like, oh, that's dope. Like I would want to go, but I didn't end up going because they had like three showtimes, and I wasn't sure which showtime was gonna have the Q&A, and I was at work, so yeah, it's Ben Dickey. There we go. Yeah, and so that
he's in the movie, or he's just a producer, or
he's the director, I believe. Yeah, he's the director.
I think it's the same one where I hope it's the same one that we
I don't know if you're thinking about the same one that I am, because you said we talked about it, and I'm like, I don't remember talking about it.
Let me
see. It's directed by Ethan Hawke, and it's based on this like country musician named Blaze Foley, who is very like eccentric, and he was known for just
yeah, so we're thinking about the same one.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
we talked about it because we were trying to see what we can watch, and that one came up in like, oh, Blaze, and I remember having a little conversation with you.
But anyways,
it's good though because it's 100% Rotten Tomatoes, and
well, I really want to go watch it. I really want to go watch it just because it looks fucking good. Like I've seen the trailer and I'm just like, goddamn, like it looks like one of those movies that's just gonna like pull your heart out and throw it on the ground and like stomp on it a couple of times.
Yeah.
It looks like it's gonna be a hard one to process, but it looks great. And I mean, I like Ethan Hawke. I know he's got kind of like a bad rap. Like some people hate him and some people love him. I like him a lot.
I'm going to tell you something, but after we wrap this up, because I feel like it's already long enough, but it involves Ethan Hawke and some of his comments on superhero films.
Oh, okay. All right.
But yeah, we'll talk about that later. We literally can have a whole podcast about this. So really? If you guys want to hear our thoughts on that, just leave the comments.
Are you
leave
serious?
Comments in the comment section down below. Yeah.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
I'm scared now.
What was I going to say?
Wrap it up.
If you guys have, if you guys agree with us, disagree with us about what our conversation, Taxi Driver, or anything we discussed in this podcast, leave it in the comment section down below. We would love to hear your feedback. We're trying to have some healthy discourse here about films, and hopefully next week, or at least the next 2 weeks, hopefully we can get more of these out for you guys, because I know that me and Audrey try.
The struggle is real, guys.
The schedule doesn't line up. So, but yeah, in the meantime, keep watching our old stuff. I noticed that initially we won't get a lot of views or whatever, but then over time, so that's cool. If you guys don't have the time right now, put in your watch later list or something, and keep watching, keep supporting the channel, and we'll try to bring as much content for you guys as we can. And guys, until next time. We'll see you at the movies.
Bye.
Peace. Oh, shit.
You're going to have to edit that out.